folks on YouTube help me identify these pieces. Never mind the board. I know the board is not Drueke. It's a Retropados Ferrar board that I got when I purchased the Studio in Carlton Isle of Lewis chess set. Since my last name is actually Lewis, I gotta have a Lewis chess set. This, of course, is a playing chess set, and it belonged to my stepfather, and he passed away in 2011. Short time thereafter, my mother moved out of the house. He had a really nice game table, and these pieces either sat on top of the game table or inside the game table. I don't know when he bought them. I know I didn't see the pieces until the at least the mid or late 90s. I don't know when he bought them, but I know he had bought them sometime before. When we were kids, we played with plastic chess sets, mostly on vacations and stuff. And then once my brother and I got to where we beat him, he didn't play us quite so much anymore. He was a man that had been an engineer, and he liked to solve Mensa puzzles. He loved to do brain teaser puzzles. He had a whole collection of the metal puzzles and card puzzles, and he was always asking riddles and stuff. And so he was a very intelligent man, but he had a nice game table with a roulette wheel and stuff like that inside it, but these pieces were associated with that game table. My mother still has a game table. I don't know what brand of game table it is, but I suspect from my research that these are Drueke pieces, and I don't have my scale right now. I looked at my scale, and the batteries are dead in my scale, so I'm just gonna do this without batteries, but this is what they look like. He kept them in this box. It was felt lined, so I'm assuming this isn't just some cigar box. Perhaps he did woodworking and stuff. Perhaps he did line it. I doubt that he actually made the box with the eagle on it, but there's no brand name on these pieces. All right, the rooks are a little puny. You know, they say that a rook should be the length of a square. So for a 2 1/4 inch square, they're a little bit puny, you know. I think the rooks are my least favorite part of this set. And the bishops have that sort of tapered look to them that a lot of the Drueke sets have. So that's why I suspect that this is probably Drueke. The knights, I haven't seen research online of knights that look exactly like this, but very similar. And these are weighted pieces. They are probably what people might say double weighted or single weighted. They're not as heavy as my House of Staunton Championship set, just by feel. And I did measure these one time, and they are a few grams less in metric, a few points of ounces less than my set. The pawns, they are about right for a 2 1/4 inch board. Like I said, I just think the rooks are a little puny for this set. There it is compared to the knight. And the king. Kind of looks like a Drueke king to me. You know? There's no identification on here. And the queen, she's a rather normal queen. A little bit shorter maybe than others. I think this is a 3 1/2 inch king. It might be I don't think it's quite a 3 3/4 inch king. I did measure these at one time. I don't have that with me now, but I suspect these are Drueke. Can you let me know? Look, I'm gonna go ahead and set the board up, and I'll show you all the other pieces. All right, so here it is set up on the board. Once again, the light side, the boxwood side. I can tell that this is boxwood. And it's a nice set to play with. It doesn't have extra queens, as was standard before the early 2000s when House of Staunton started selling a lot of sets with extra queens, but it's now standard in the 21st century to have sets with extra queens. This set, of course, does not. Like I said, the rooks are puny. I think that looks like rosewood to me. Might be that shesam wood or acacia wood, that cheaper version of rosewood, but I think it's rosewood. You see, they're not quite, the rooks are a little bit puny to me. The knights are a little bit bigger than the size of a square, so the knights are a little taller. It might be why the rooks look a little puny. A king is supposed to be 1 1/2 squares on a 2 1/4 inch or 57 millimeters squares. The king is about 1 1/2 squares tall. All right. And so I say if you set fits the board well, if a bishop could pass between a king and queen centered on a square without touching them, like such as that. So anyway, once again, the dark army, bishops with that very aggressive taper to it. King and queen. The kings, of course, have this sort of rounded, not really bubble shape, but it's not as pronounced as maybe it is on some others where it comes up to the top. And the finial is that strange looking cross finial that was like on the Fisher Spassky sets and stuff. Anyway, if you on YouTube are watching this and y'all know what kind of set this is, I would like to know. I suspect it's Drueke, but I am not 100% sure. I'm probably only about 85% sure because I don't know exactly which model it is. So thanks for helping me out, and thanks for watching this YouTube video on Big Lou 2. Hey, if you like to cook, check out my main channel, Big Lou Barbecue, and other things I want to do.